Angie, first of all, tell us about how you've been trying to stay afloat in this really uncertain time where you basically had to shut up shop one day to the next.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a huge struggle, as you can imagine. I mean, as you just said, there's 500,000 independent restaurants, and that represents 11 million jobs. And it's really, really tough right now. We've had to completely pivot our business. My restaurant has always been, a bit of luxury. And so we had to really change that. And, we're going from having that like luxurious, fine dining restaurant to doing, cooking food that I would cook for my family in this time and shifting to takeout and delivery just to barely break even,
Exactly, and restaurants, as we know, really only operate with a month or two operating income to hand, if they're lucky. And obviously the Beatrice Inn is a very successful restaurant. I'm sure you're full every night of the week, but yet it's hard to actually stay afloat. Did you apply for a PPP loan? Have you got it?
Absolutely. No, we did apply for the PPP loan. I think everybody knows that a lot of that money went to, large publicly traded restaurants like Shake Shack, like Ruth Chris, like Potbelly, businesses that have far over 500 employees that should never have been applying for it to begin with. I have not heard back on ours yet. We are still waiting, and we are still hopeful. I'm hoping that this round of funding will go to small mom and pop restaurants that actually need it.
And I know that you've also been working hard at bringing food to essential workers at Lennox Hill Hospital and so on. So obviously, you feel this as an employer and obviously as a citizen of, New York City as well. But Angie, you've had to make decisions as not just an entrepreneur, an employer, right, but also a tenant because you have a landlord, and also obviously a creative, you're a chef. And so how have you found trying to make really tough decisions? Have you made some yet?
Yeah. Well, there's a couple questions in there, and let's address the business one first. As a business person, as an entrepreneur, there's obviously a lot of very tough decisions that we've had to make. I went from having a staff of 54 people to reopening for takeout and delivery with 7, and that 7 includes myself. So, right now I'm talking to you from the restaurant. We're getting ready to open up at 5 o'clock, for takeout and delivery. And, you're talking about 7 people total doing the work that 54 used to do. And I think as we look to reopen, I think there's going to have to be a lot of changes internally that we make, as well as what the government is going to have to mandate in order for small businesses like mine to survive. And, as you said earlier, the restaurant industry is very, very different in terms of the fact that, we are required we have a lot more employees than we do actual revenue. The ratio between employees to revenue is far disproportionate than any other industry, and a lot of that is because of the laws that are put into place, whether it's 80-20 for tipped employees or overtime. All of these things, these are all it's very anti-business.
Yes.
And it's really designed so we're paying more money.
And there is the potential there for a silver lining to be that some of these regulations get changed after this, but it's hard to know, and I know that you're concerned about what reopening looks like as well. But Angie, do talk to us as well about your work for Robinhood, because there's a big day on Monday. It's the culmination of the fundraising season, and Robinhood obviously focused on the coronavirus impact this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Robinhood is such a fantastic foundation, and it was founded in 1988. And, just in the first 40 days of this pandemic, they were able to raise $40 million. I mean, that's a huge, huge amount. But what I think a lot of people don't know is that, look, there's 2 million New Yorkers that are going hungry today, and that is 2 times the number that it was 60 days ago. And in the 5 highest zip codes, the highest number of coronavirus, COVID-19, the average household income is about $26,000.
Yeah.
So, there's a huge gap there. And, for us to be able to raise awareness on May 11th, raise funds, and hopefully help some of our fellow New Yorkers, that's a cause that is well worth it to me.